Canberra. I'm coming to you from Canberra, Australia, and this is a channel I started to help me with my unfinished projects problem. Hi, so back in the zone to some extent, and I've decided what I need to do is get rid of the big pile of I really have to address this mess that is in my sewing room. So I've been working on the hand quilting the African quilt. I've almost finished the rows in one direction. I will make a decision soon about whether I'm going to go in the other direction. I think I have to, but yeah, properly looked after it would be fine, but I may end up selling it, and so I need to make it as robust as I can, I guess. Anyway, so what I'm actually working on at the moment is I have the two sides of a little patchwork dog, and I am putting the row in between that makes it three-dimensional. So I've been doing this on the sewing machine. It feels much more tedious than the first couple that I did. I don't know what I've done differently. I probably should have recorded that process so I can go back and tell myself what I did. But anyway, so I'm working on that. I'm hoping to get through the oven gloves and the caterpillar bag. I just need to clear away stuff that's not shiny anymore. I have a son who's on the ADHD spectrum who thinks I'm the genetic source, and he might be right. I've done some investigation. I suspect I am on the ADHD spectrum, and one thing that happens is that we're forever seeking dopamine hits, and so we want to start something new and exciting, but it kind of gets to a point where it's not shiny anymore and we put it aside. That's how you get 100 things on your UFO bingo list. So I'd fallen into that habit again. I started off, I was doing quite well. I was finishing things fairly frequently. And then I deteriorated back into this phase where I'll work on something for a bit and put it aside, and work on something else and put it aside. And now there's a big pile of things that are marked on my UFO bingo list as actively working on them, and I'm not. So I need to clear that, and that clears my mind space, my UFO bingo cards, and my sewing space to actually get started on something new. So I am giving myself a little bit of time. I'm going to treat this as a new and urgent project to finish all of the things on my desk. It's working so far. We'll see how long it works for. And so I'm just going to get on with sewing this together. I can sit in front of the television and stuff it and do the hand sewing later. And I really need to finish the oven gloves. Like, I've got all these little oven gloves. These don't have a lining yet. I've got the linings cut out and sewn together, and I'm going to try and put them together in a way so that I don't have to bind the tops. That was kind of a sticking point. It was difficult. I never really got a good result. Just because these openings are not quite big enough to go around the arm of the sewing machine. If I could put it around the arm of the sewing machine and it would actually move freely, then it would be much easier to do a nice neat seam, and it's not happening. And I really, really, really don't want to hand stitch it. So I've got a lot of them there. So I'm trying a different way of putting the lining on. I'm hoping it's going to work, and I'll be able to knock those off fairly quickly. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this now, and I will be back. I'll probably, this video will probably be a bit patchy because I'll be working on some different things each day, and I'm hoping to have a couple of finishes, big crosses put in there. I've gotten back to my proper self-care routine, which had fallen by the wayside a bit, and so everything feels possible at the moment. So who knows? Could all be possible. Okay, so I have finished the shell of the little dog, and I'm hoping that this all kind of flattens out. It just looks kind of weird, but it will all flatten out when I stuff it. And I don't know, there's a part of me that wants to go back in and iron those seams flat. I probably should do that before I go on with it. Anyway, so I'm now going to go on to the oven gloves. I've got I'm going to sew the lining on the outside. I've got the right side, okay, so the right side of the glove is there, that's there. This hole here is supposedly to pull the glove through. That's not going to be big enough, but I will deal with that in a little while because it's the sewing up bit that I'm dreading. I've put my heavy duty machine on because this is quite thick, and I've left the what is it called, walking foot. I've left the walking foot on there, in part because it's a pain to actually change over on this machine. You don't have, it's really awkward, but also because I'm hoping it will just help to get the fabric to move through. I'm going to have to put it in like this and sew on the lining. So because even with this, that can come off, but this is still too big to fit the glove around. I do have a machine with a smaller one, but it's tight, so it's not actually much better. So we'll go in from the top of the lining, see how it goes, but I'm just going to sit here and pin things for a little bit, and so that when I get into the sewing, I can get into a rhythm, I can get into kind of knowing what I'm doing and do all of them while my muscle memory is still knowing what it's doing. Anyway, hopefully I will get some of these finished. I want to go to the markets a couple of times before Christmas, and I would like to have all of these done and be able to have them in my store. I've actually, for a while there, I was putting off going back to the markets because I didn't finish the gloves, and then I realized that wasn't going to happen for quite some time. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'm coming back to the sewing after a bit of a break. I have actually been madly making oven gloves for a while, and then today I'm over that, and I just came up to my sewing room and I potted around. I did a couple of little things like ironing new fabric, including some backing for a quilt that I want to quilt, and actually did my ironing. Well, my ironing pile was only 3 items high. And then I had a look at the door of my sewing room where all of the things that I've been meaning to get to and really haven't were sitting or hanging. And so I did a little bit of mending. This is a flannelette shirt that is now kind of at the just wear it under a jumper for an extra layer stage. I don't know if you can see, it had a right angled tear in it. I've just cut some flannelette that I had in the cupboard, and that's on the outside. This is the inside. I just had some double-sided gluey stuff, iron-on gluey stuff, and I've just ironed the two pieces of fabric on, and then I've just done rows and rows of stitching. So that's a flannelette shirt that is just for casual wear. And this is a linen shirt that I had for some time, and all of this area under the arm just started to fray away and was coming away from the seam. So I have just I've just put a bit of, I think it's a linen cotton blend that I had. I've stitched it over. I've just zigzagged it on the edge, and this shirt, I'll hang it up so you can actually see it. So that shirt can now just be worn. I have matching pants, and I have plans to make a red vest. And so once there's something to cover up that bit on the edge, I'll be able to still wear that underneath. And it could be like trans-seasonal now too. I could wear it with a bit of a cardi and stuff because I really quite like the colour. It's a good colour on me, and it's a comfy shirt, and that would actually go well under a cardi or a V-neck jumper. Okay, so they're not professional, they're not perfect, and I will probably just wear them underneath something else, but it means that I get a lot more life out of a couple of pieces of clothing that I really like the colour of and that are really comfy to wear. So there we go. That's my bit for the environment. And because I was in the sewing room sort of wondering what else will I do, and I just felt like coming back to this Christmas tree skirt. So I started making this about 9 years ago. I was making it for a friend, and lost sight of finishing it. And so I think I'll come back to it. I love the fabrics in it. It's just got the most beautiful Christmas fabrics. And I've got it backed with, it's a ginkgo pattern, but it just happened to be a really large piece of leftover backing that I had. It's got batting in the middle. The only quilting is along the seams. I used a decorative stitch in a silky thread, and I have no idea what instructions I was following. I think I'll just have a look on the internet and see what would be the best way to finish it. I'm assuming I'm going to trim back batting and put bias binding on it, but they may have had a better idea. I will have a bit of a look online and see if I can find some better instructions. I've still got pins in the back, just holding that bit down. And it would be really, really nice if I could finish this today. It's actually on my UFO bingo cards, but it just is what I felt like doing in the moment. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm just going around the outside of the tree skirt with the overlocker. I've got the backing's already on there, it's quilted on. that and the batting. So I am going to have to bind it in some way. I don't know. I mean, it was 9-10 years ago when I started this. I don't know what instructions I was following. I'm assuming I was going to have to bind it. So that's what we do. I will be looking into getting a new overlocker. I'm in the midst of getting a new hot water system, so we'll wait till that's paid for. But yeah, so that I've overlocked it. It's not great. I really have just given up on this machine, trying to get it to work properly. I'm just going to replace it. It's probably 30 years old and it's giving me crappy results. So it's going to go. But I didn't want to wait today. I just wanted to do something sewing related that wasn't related to my Etsy shop or Christmas stuff. So anyway, so that's it, and I will cover up all the problems with some form of binding. Doesn't have to be perfect if you have camouflage. I've actually had a look. I've got all sorts of different laces and things, and I think I'm going to try and use this for around the bottom and probably up the two sides at the back. And I think I have some red bias binding as well, so I might do the circle of the top circle with the bias binding, because that's the biggest, the smaller curve that's going to need a bit of bias. So I've just got this Lincraft creative, it's a sparkly thing. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a tape kind of thing. So it vaguely folds and holds the fold. So I'm folding it in half, the gold side out, and just running a finger along that, just sort of finger pressing it, and sewing it down on the heavy duty machine along the edge. So I'm just going to fold that bit over and get rid of all the bits that might be going to poke out. Push that up right against the edge and put it under the machine. I've got a gold metallic thread on the top and a kind of a golden yellow cotton thread on the bottom. And I've had a good experience with the metallic thread in this heavy duty machine in the past, so I'm hoping that continues. And I'm just going along, folding it in half, sewing it on ad infinitum. It's quite long, so I will be doing this for a while. Fortunately, I have 3 of these for some reason, so that's 9 meters worth. I'm not going to need all of that, So I shall potter along doing this and hopefully get a finish. Okay, so I've got the gold tape, shiny dark gold tape all around the edges, and I've even managed to put it around the top. It's gone on reasonably well. I've missed a couple of little bits on the back, but that's okay. I can just do them by hand. And we have a skirt. It's a shame it's not a Christmas skirt for me. Anyway, that's pretty much done. Here it is, the finished Christmas tree skirt. Lovely blingy binding all the way around. I finished it off with a little sleigh button and a rather badly executed thread loop. We won't look at that too closely, it does hold it closed. So that's all ready to go on around the Christmas tree. Though I'm actually seriously considering adding a big ribbon to the top and putting on my red pants and my red top and putting this on as an overskirt for the Christmas party. We'll see what happens. And we also have the official crossing off on the UFO bingo card. This one needs a pink work in progress and an orange finished. Woohoo! I noticed I actually prematurely crossed off the HST patchwork dog too. So that one's been crossed off. I don't know. I'm going to have a look and see if my mending was actually there. Nope, it wasn't. What a shame. I do actually have here though a separate entry for the daisy patterned oven gloves. So as soon as I finish the last couple of those oven gloves, I can cross them off. Where have I got that? That's something that I'm somewhere as something I'm working on. Oh yeah, so that's there. So I haven't got very far to go to finish that, and I have an incentive because I can take them to the markets.